In this video, we're going to show you how to properly allocate your time. And in order to do that, we're going to go back to the icon that every computer has, which is the RAE scheduler. We're going to click on job tracking, and we're going to look to over on the right top hand corner where it says login, and we're going to log in under our employee number. Make sure that it brings up your name so that you're only working under your name. And then you want to look at whatever work center you're going to be working on. So for this example, we can start with FOSS. And now the portion that we're going to talk about here as far as time allocation is not referencing job setup time or run time, because we've already previously discussed that in a clocking in and out of jobs video. And so this video is going to be more a breakdown of when to use our other time allocations here. So FOSS, as you can see, you can clock into break. So if you're going to go on break, you're going to want to click on break and hit the play button, and that'll start you on downtime, and it'll allocate your time from the job over to break. And that's how they're going to make sure that you're taking break, and that you're taking break for as long as you're supposed to take break, and that it's not being allocated towards time that we were trying to capture for any individual job. So when you get back, you hit the stop button, and you can then clock back in to either setting up for another job or clocking back into runtime at that point. Now, there's obviously other options on here. So you can clock into break like we just did, or if you are doing some sort of maintenance, you could clock into maintenance, or if you have to go to a meeting or a company training, then you would clock into meeting/training. Now this does change a little bit as we go into the different work centers, so you'll have different options for you to look at. If you go into a dip spin like we just clicked on the 24, you'll have the same break, maintenance, and meetings, obviously, that we've seen previously in the FOSS one, but we also have two more that are added, and one of those is belt gaps. So if you have to run a job and you're forced to have belt gaps for a reason, meaning that maybe only half the belt is full and we're having to run jobs back around, so you're going to have time where you're not able to run product while you're waiting for that belt to run off, then you would log into belt gaps. And now if we're actually switching from one coating to another coating, we're going to clock into coating changeover. So if you're switching from a base coat to another base coat, or switching from a base coat to a top coat, or whatever the case is, if you're doing a full changeover of your coating, you need to log into coating changeover. And that just makes sure that we allocate our time towards that. Then that's not just already being logged into the job and just making sure you're double checking your viscosity. That's something completely different. Checking your viscosity and the temperature of your coating and everything like that will be captured under job setup time. This is actually going and taking the barrel of coating out of your machine and inserting a different barrel of coating at that time. And that's where you would capture this and do the same process. Hitting the play button, and allocating that time over here. Right now it won't let us do that because somebody else is currently clocked into this job, but it would be the same concept. You hit the play button, and when you're done allocating time towards your coating changeover, you can stop that and then reallocate time towards job setup, run time, or whatever else you need to be allocating your time towards. And I think that kind of goes the same for all of these. Rack and spray, you can have break, maintenance, meetings. The 10B, coating changeovers, breaks, maintenance, belt gaps, meetings. So make sure that you get kind of familiarized with these options for each individualized work center. And if you have any questions, please make sure that you ask somebody so that you can make sure that you're allocating your time correctly. It can be a little bit confusing. This program helps us to kind of simplify that and break things down so that we can better understand where we're allocating all of our time towards, and understanding where we can make improvements as a company. So it's really important that we allocate our time as best as possible so that we can all better understand where our time is all being spent. Then obviously when you're done, you want to log out so that nobody else can do work underneath you. Takes your name off of there and allows somebody else to log into that same platform.